Sharon, do you like Katie's logo?
Yeah. £4.87.
There were quite a number of people who were quite afraid of the thought of enterprise. What does this mean to me? Is it just going to mean lots more work? Is it just going to mean that I've got to rewrite everything that I've done before? When we had the inset training day, it was remarkable how many people then said, oh, we do this already. Everyone relaxed a little bit and thought this isn't going to be quite so bad. And now people are making more use of Rachel and going and asking, and it's an ongoing process now across the school.
Rachel Dixon is the business champion at Foxhills School Technology College in Scunthorpe.
At the beginning of the year, we did hold a meeting for lead teachers across the school in order to just highlight exactly how we're hoping enterprise will be across the curriculum in FTC, and some of the things that we've decided already, such as our own definition of enterprise. But in order to be able to write our enterprise policy and be true to our school, we needed everybody to have some kind of input. So lead teachers have passed on their information to their staff.
Today, Rachel is meeting colleagues to define enterprise and to discuss their ideas for incorporating the subject into their lessons.
So, enterprise education, really, it's all about capability. Being able to make sure that the kids have better financial capability and a business understanding. And it's just a case of making that real-life element towards things. So, again, the skills that we're looking at then, teamwork, problem solving, thinking skills, communication skills, and this is one of the more difficult ones that I've found so far, is to allow the kids to evaluate their own skills. They're not always used to evaluating themselves and how well they are doing on various areas.
I've always thought that enterprise is a good idea. The thing that has stopped me using enterprise quite as much is I didn't think I had all the skills myself to be able to deliver an enterprising lesson. I thought it was more to do with business studies. But when you actually look at the lessons that you deliver anyway, they are enterprising, and they have got enterprising elements in them. It's about drawing them together, going and asking for advice and getting on with it. So I've come up with an idea for my Gateways group, who, as you know, students with a high level of need and additional educational needs. One of the ideas that I would like to take forward is that we have our own Gateways restaurant, and a team of students will create their own menus, create their own costings, serve the food, and will take responsibility for that restaurant to bring in parents, so to make links with parents and community members as well. So I'm hoping that I'm going down the right route here, is that they start off with this idea, and then from it we've got a few rules. I know that we want to break away from rules, but it saves the idea that everybody just goes, oh, I want to go on the computer.
I think the only thing I would say there is, rather than saying that these are our rules, maybe these are the guidelines for the task.
Yeah.
Although they're making their own decisions and solving their own problems, you do need some guidelines so that it works well with the numbers and that. But yeah, maybe just a use of the word guidelines as opposed to rules, as that would be used in normal business. And I think it's a really good idea.
Thank you. Let's see if it works. Let's see if you've got invitations to our restaurant
I'll be coming and eating
in a month's time. Yeah.
The restaurant project, which will take several weeks to come to fruition, starts with a lesson where pupils negotiate their roles and design a menu.
You've got to work as a team, all right? I am watching teams all the time to think, yeah, they've got it. They know how to work well together. I think I can trust them on a Friday to be left to run their restaurant, so I'm watching you all the time. And then have a look at the information in the packs and be enterprising, invent for me. I want to see this restaurant. I want to see it up and running. I want to invite people really shortly. Best ideas. Ready, steady, go. I think students within Gateways who have got additional needs really respond well to looking at the world in a wider picture, rather than school is about reading, writing, adding up, and all the things that they generally tend to be turned off against because they find it hard. There's no barriers, there's no boundaries to what they're capable of with enterprise. And to hear some of the ideas from some of the students who don't tend to be as forthcoming within more traditional settings, I think they're going to flourish at this task that they've been set.
So is that one of your names?
That's one name, Italian Stallion.
Italian Stallion, that's after you, Marcus, isn't it?
What about colours? Have you thought about any colours that you might want to use? And why?
Why? Yes.
I think so too.
Because that would make it very unique compared to everyone else's. If Renessa could do her food from her home nation, is it Kurdistan? Yes, sorry. Yeah. Then
I think they were engaged because they knew they could do it. It's ideas, it's things that they know they can do, but without the formality of having to write, check, present. It's something that they can come up with and present it in a different type of way, being able to talk about things. Orally, they're far stronger anyway.
So Stacey, with you being the chef, it's got to be stuff that you can cook, can't it? Have you done any cooking? Yeah, you've done cooking at home? Have you done any cooking here? You have, haven't you? Yeah. So you need to be directing these people as to what things you'd be comfortable cooking, don't you? And you as a restaurant manager have to make the decision what to go ahead with. Now they're doing your research.
Personally, as a teacher, the enterprising skills that the students have been using this lesson is certainly something I want to build upon.
So you're going to call it
BG's Fast Food Restaurant.
And are we coming up with a logo for that?
Yeah, I'll try and think of a logo.
We'll try and think of a logo then.
Where are you going to get your fish from and how are you going to cook your fish? How could you certainly know whether or not it was cheaper?
Go on the internet and research it.
Do you want to have a go?
Buy them. Yeah.
Go on then, have a go. And see if you can price up the cheapest ingredient then.
Seeing the students that engaged professionally, it means the world to me to see that the way that they can react with each other, because the social impact as well on a project like this, I think, is enormous. It means that they can have the skills to feel confident in the type of surroundings that they're going to be entering.
The what?
The Mighty
The Mighty Chefs, I like it. Everybody's got different ideas, it's really cool. Andy B's the chef. What are you going to cook, Andy B?
We've got a special
Yeah?
with roast chicken and mashed potato and everything with parsnips. And then we've got a toffee fudge with rich cream. And then we've got a fruit salad.
So do you want to do this? Do you want to do this on a Friday?
Yeah.
But I'd love to see you doing it on a Friday. Love to. Show me.
Have a look at NatWest for me.
Rachel is also taking the lead in appointing Year 11 pupils as economic well-being officers. It gets them directly involved in many of the school's enterprise activities.
In the past, our Year 11 students have been able to apply to be senior students, only this time we wanted them not only to apply and be accepted on their merits as a senior member of the Year 11 cohort, but also that they were able to choose a subject specialism that they would be able to develop for the future, ready for the world of work.
Today, the economic well-being officers have been given a specific task, helping to design the Year 9 curriculum by evaluating enterprise resources.
I've invited you here today because I would like you to take part in a focus group to try and develop the resources we're going to use to teach banking. Okay, and there's a few different resources that are available for us to use in school. So it's your job today to check out all those resources, and then we'll have a little chat at the end, and I want you to tell me which ones you think are the best. I want you to think about the ease of use, whether or not you think they're attractive for students to use, whether or not you think they taught you something good, and whether or not you think you would use that particular resource yourself if you were asked in lesson.
The best thing about the economic wellbeing students is that they can kind of dip into all areas of senior student projects, be almost like a guide, and also helping us to develop the curriculum in Key Stage 3.
Which sort of year of student do you think that would be suitable for? Year 10s? Did anyone think about checking out the slightly younger site? Perhaps you could do that just for a couple of minutes, look and see if there's any difference, Dwayne, while we're still chatting.
There are so many different free resources out there for use on teaching banking skills to Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4. As a teacher, you look at those resources, to suit yourself and the way that you want to deliver things, and that's not always the best way to do it. It was really nice today to have the students look at all the different resources that I'd identified and be able to tell us which they thought were the best, you know, which interested them.
What was your favourite out of the resources you've looked at?
One of them I liked was Making Money Sure, because it tells you everything that you mostly need to know about banking and tells you how to save money and that lot.
Was that the one with the earn, spend and save? It might be quite good for, say, your careers lessons and for citizenship, or when you're preparing for connections meetings.
We keep talking about how we want students to be involved in developing the curriculum, but it's quite difficult being able to implement that. And this was a really nice way for us to set that ball rolling.
I think you just roll over and the text is on there.
Oh, yeah.
Just find out who the family is before you get started. Those kind of things are the things that I need to know.
I think it's very easy for teachers to be promoting things and for the students to look at you and think, you know, yeah, but you're a teacher. When we've got the Year 11s doing things, actually physically doing things that Year 7s can aspire to, that can only be a good thing.
Economic wellbeing officers and other senior students also act as advocates for enterprise, promoting their business skills to other students at special school events.
We set up our own little stall and people from loads of different businesses came and had a look.
You actually make the cards yourself, you source the goods,
Yeah.
and you make cards for any occasion?
Yeah.
So what sort of retail price would these come out? Because obviously you've got to bear in mind, you've got to cover your costs.
The £1 a card if it's our own design.
Okay.
And if it's like personalised, because you can have like pictures on it of yourself and your name, it's £1.10.
Of course other students are interested, and you know, it's natural that you get a few faces at the door saying, what's going on? You know, I want to be involved, I want to be a part of that. And hopefully they will be the senior students of the future, and then they will be the people who are employed in, say, banking or who are employed in business in the future. So it's nice that we have that natural progression and that there is something going on at all levels.
Rachel keeps in touch with the world of work locally by attending networking events with local businesses and groups promoting enterprise.
And I believe we've got some new members. So welcome to Rachel, Stuart and Jenny.
Enterprise is very much about creating links with local businesses. So first and foremost, on a very basic level, it allows me to meet more people. It also allows me to share ideas with other people. And also, it allows me to be on that bottom rung when they are planning. There's no point in moaning about the way things have been created in the future if you're not willing to go in and be a part of the planning process.
And, you know, I think if schools start to do this individually, then that's going to cause a bigger problem. What we're trying to do sub-regionally is we're working, I mean, Julie's part of the working group in Vienna, is to work with connections and consortium for learning to have one strategy.
So it keeps my subject knowledge up to date, allows me to grow the links in the local area and also find out what employers want and what employers need. We are trying to create young, well-rounded students who can then move from here into employment. And those are the people who are going to employ them. So why would I not want to know what they're doing and what they are looking for?